Hello everyone, my name is Kushal Ingde and today we will learn about the membrane transport. So friends, as we know that every cell having phospholipid bilayer, which is also known as plasma membrane, who not only protect the cell organelles but carry out transportation of various molecules and ions, also either with the help of proteins or without their help. The phospholipid bilayer, which is the basic structural unit of plasma membrane, is essentially impermeable to many water-soluble molecules, ions and the water. Now, the molecules such as oxygen, carbon dioxide and small uncharged polar molecules such as urea and ethanol may pass without any difficulty, and it is known as the passive or the simple diffusion. So, while the movement no metabolic energy, that is ATP, is utilized because the movement is from higher to lower concentration to the molecule down its chemical concentration gradient. So, such reactions of transportation are spontaneous because they have a positive S value, which indicates increase in entropy, and thus a negative G, which indicates decrease in the free energy. The diffusion rate of any substance across a plasma membrane is proportional to its concentration gradient across the layer and to its hydrophobicity and size, while movement of charged molecules are affected by any electric potential across the membrane. The moving molecule either may be hydrophilic or hydrophobic. This hydrophobicity of a substance is measured by its partition coefficient denoted by K, which is the equilibrium constant for its partition between oil and the water. If the partition coefficient of the substance is higher, then it is more lipid soluble, and if the substance is more lipid soluble, then there are more chances for that molecule or the substance to move or to cross through the lipid bilayer. That's why we know that steroid hormones don't have their receptors over the plasma membrane, because these steroid molecules can easily pass through the plasma membrane. If a transported substance carries a net charge, its movement is influenced by both its, that is the concentration gradient, and the membrane potential. Very few molecules and ions cannot cross a pure phospholipid bilayer or the plasma membrane by passive diffusion. Thus, transportation of most molecules either into and out of the cell required the help or the assistance of the specialized membrane proteins, which are known as the transporter proteins or the transport proteins. Now, these transporter proteins are transmembrane proteins, which contains multiple membrane spinning segments that generally are helices in nature. So here we will discuss about the different transport proteins which are present over the plasma membrane. Now, while talking about this, the first one, that is ATP powered pumps, or simply they are called as the pump. So ATP powered pumps are ATPases that use energy, that is ATP. After hydrolysis, they will carry out or they will move the ions or the small molecules across the membrane against a chemical concentration gradient or electric potential or both. Channel protein transport water or the specific type of ions and the hydrophilic small molecules down their concentration or electric potential gradients. Such protein assisted transport, sometimes referred or called as the facilitated diffusion. Some ion channels open much of the time. These are referred to as non-gated channels. Transporters, also called as the carriers. Transporters move a wide variety of ions and molecules across the plasma membrane. Amino acids and glucose cross this plasma membrane into most mammalian cells with the help of uniporters. Now, this uniporter means the substance which is moving in only one direction, whereas antiporters carry out the movement of two molecules in opposite direction, and symphotos couple the movement of one type of ion or molecule against its concentration gradient. Now coming to the ATP powered pumps. All ATP powered pumps are transmembrane proteins with one or more binding sites for ATP located on the cytosolic face of the membrane. There are four classes of the ATP powered pumps occurring in a cell. These are P class pump, F class pump, V class, and the ABC superfamily. Three classes, that is P, F, and the V, transport only ions, whereas members of ABC superfamily primarily transport small molecules. All P-class ion pumps possesses two identical catalytic alpha subunits that contain an ATP binding site. Most also have two smaller beta subunits that usually have regulatory function. This class includes sodium-potassium ATPases in the plasma membrane. It maintains the low cytosolic sodium and high cytosolic potassium concentration in a typical animal cell. The structure of F-class and V-class ion pump are smaller to one another but unrelated to P-class pump. Even it is more complicated than P-class pump. F and V-class pump contain several different transmembrane and cytosolic subunits and transport only protons. Generally, V-class pumps maintain low pH of plant vacuoles and of lysosomes and other acidic vesicles in animal cells by pumping protons. F-class pumps are found in bacterial plasma membrane and in mitochondria and chloroplast. F-class pumps generally function to power the synthesis of ATP from ADP and inorganic phosphate by movement of protons from the exoplasmic to the cytosolic face of the membrane. F-class proton pumps commonly called as the ATP synthase. The another type, that is ABC superfamily. Here ABC stands for ATP binding cassette. ABC superfamily includes several hundred different transport proteins found in organisms ranging from bacteria to human beings. Each ABC protein is specific for a single substrate or group of related substrates, which may be ions, sugars, amino acids, phospholipids, peptides, polysaccharides, or even proteins. All ABC transport proteins share a structural organization consisting of 4 core domains. So, there are two transmembrane T domains forming the passageway through which transported molecules cross the membrane, and two cytosolic ATP binding domains denoted by the capital A. So it was all about the membrane transport. I hope that it will definitely help you to clear your doubts regarding to the transport proteins. Please subscribe to this channel for latest video. Also like and share the video. Thank you so much.